Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV. My name is John, your host as always, and I hope you're doing well. Apologies, I put in the wrong text. This is actually the Manchester City versus West Ham United preview live on Sunday at 4:30 at the Etihad Stadium on Sunday, on live on Sky Sports. So guys, as you know, that's a bit of a death sentence for us as it is already. As I say, apologies, this bit's right. So apologies for getting the video. They put the wrong video in, but never mind. Anyway, so the match officials for this Sunday's game at 4:30 is Graham Scott is the referee. Neil Davis is the assistant, as is Richard West. The fourth official is Chris Kavanagh. On VAR, there is Craig Pawson, and also the assistant VAR man is Konstantin Hasadakis. I think he pronounced that. Can't pronounce his name properly. Rick Cougar says, "Good evening, Rick. Glad to see you, mate." Phil Smith says, "Oi, Savaloy, how you doing, mate?" I'm good, Phil. Hope you're doing fine. Guys, keep an eye out for the imposter of my account. So if anything comes up in the chat under JPWHU TV, then unfortunately it's not me. As I said, apologies for the intro, guys. The video I used the wrong. Didn't have time to use the edit to do the wording, but never mind. Bruno, welcome back, mate. I'm good. How are you, mate? I hope you're doing all right. Right. So last time out, we were beaten. Sorry, last time City were out, I should say, they were beaten 2-0 at the Spurs Stadium, and Shevchenko, Sinchenko, I think you pronounce it, picked up 2 yellows in that game, and as a result was suspended for this game. This is the last game before the winter break, and boy, oh boy, do we need the gap in that 14-day gap in football to bring our blood pressure down over the last couple of weeks. I'm sure that Bruno is still very, very happy with it, but from a West Ham perspective, it's absolutely dire as it stands at the moment. I'm going to come on to some news in a little while, but as always, let's concentrate on talking about the opposition. As to continue on, I should say, PremierInjuries.com show that City could have Mendy and Laporte back for this game at some point. Well, they're returning back from injuries. Sané is recovering from his knee injury and could be back in a couple of weeks, but there is still a long-term injury, as it was announced the other day, to Raheem Sterling, to the thigh injury that he picked up a few last week, and as a result, there is no return date for him as yet. Breaking character for a little bit now. I'm just going to talk about some interesting news that I've seen over the last couple of days, more specifically about the video assistant referee. Premier League CEO Richard Masters has been in the news recently because he stated, and I quote, "I think offsides is one of the areas that could be tweaked, and whether you want offsides that are precise to the armpit or the heel, or whether you want to build a bit of tolerance, that is sort of a technical challenge." Well, it's not that much of a technical challenge. All we need to do is just rearrange the rules a little bit. We've mentioned it quite a few times. Masters goes on to say, "We are in constant dialogue with the football laws making company IFAB about VAR and about the way the Premier League does it versus everyone else, and what we can learn from other leagues." So it's quite ignorant from one point of view and quite arrogant from another, that it's only now towards the end of the first season, that we are the Premier League is using VAR. Is now they're starting to look at other leagues. This should have been thought about after the Euros, man. This is ridiculous. I'm sorry, the World Cup, I should say. The secretary of IFAB, Lucas Brud, told the PA news agency back in December that there should not be a lot of time spent to find something marginal. Well, we know that. We've been saying that all bloody season. If something is not clear on the first sight, then it is not obvious and it should not be considered. Well, yeah, agreed. At the end of the day, they shouldn't. What was it? Was that Liverpool game? I think it was, or the Chelsea game, whatever it was. Took over 2 minutes for a VAR decision. If you can't see it, scrap it. I've been saying it all along. It should no longer last longer than 30 seconds. And also, it looks like the summer window transfer window is going to be back to normal with its original end date of the beginning of September, as clubs have voted for this, which is good. I agree with the reasons why. Although I did like the window closing before the end of the before the start of the season, but because none of the other leagues actually adopted it either, it's completely understandable that everyone's gone back to having it back to how things were. Now, guys, I want to say thank you to everybody that's got the channel over 1,400 subscribers. Bruno, I hope you're one of them. Rick, I know he's obviously one of them as well. He's been a long time watcher of the channel, as is Phil Smith. He's popped up recently, so I hope you guys are actually. So thank you very, very much for subscribing. But over the last 4 weeks, 58% of you guys watching this content are not subscribed. So if you're enjoying the channel and you like what I'm doing, then by all means, please do consider hitting the subscribe button, because basically there's more and more content coming up. We're going to have on Sunday at 4:25 on Sunday, there's going to be a live watch along for the Brighton game, for the Man City game. Slipping back into the old reaction there. I'm going to have that up as well. So guys, keep an eye out for that. There's going to be new content coming out next week as well, because obviously there's no West Ham football for a fortnight after Sunday. Just there's new videos coming up. I had a really good idea for a video which I'm doing for two independent ideas, almost the same thing, from Darren and also from a current geezer as well who's been commenting on the video. And guys, look out for the content. Turning to West Ham now. Oh, it's got a new channel. Leno, how are we feeling? Are you used by the rest to punish? Yep. Yeah, still coughing, I guess. Where's my thank you? 2 weeks with no agony. Thank you, Lena. Thank you for coming on. It's great to hear from you. I'm sure I'm hoping you're feeling better. Now, turning to West Ham United, fellow season ticket holder Cameron Robson, as we've all been talking about over the last few days, has been banned for the rest of the season for wearing his gold Sullivan and Brady t-shirt while being a flag bearer at the ground. More specifically, at the Liverpool game that wasn't on telly actually. They've banned him for the rest of the season on the grounds that it's inciting the crowd. What exactly has this incited? Is this just like the fact that lots of season ticket holders are pissed off right now with how atrociously the club is being run? I honestly think that's the reason why. And if it isn't, and it is down to David Sullivan, as everybody apparently believes, and I've just got one message to say to the geezer. Jawohl, der Walser Malwurf. So anybody that speaks German, even though that's a bad interpretation of it, hopefully you knows what I'm talking. You guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, talking about him, Sullivan is trying to sell his Russell and Bromley store at the Oxford Street, which is next to Bond Street Station, for £50 million. I briefly talked about this on the 1819 accounts video, and thank you to everybody that stuck with me for that hour to go through it. It was a long, hard slog, but thank you very much to all of you. So why is he selling the property? It makes just under £1.5 million each year. Well, I don't know, why is he selling it for £50 million? Is that to cover the money that we spent in January? It was worrying. It really is worrying. But I've done a little bit of digging around, and it's funny that this is exactly the same amount of money that the two Davids sold the Daily Sport for back in 2007, just before the stock market crashed. Now, it also may come a bit of a surprise to you guys that the two Davids were originally on the West Ham board back in 1991 when they purchased just under 30% of the stake in the club. Now, they wanted to gradually buy the club in full, even back in those days, so in the early 90s. But their history of being in the sex industry, the board saw sense and absolutely blocked them. And it was good. And so they basically sold up, from what I understand, and bought their stakes into Birmingham City and ending up owning that instead. Now, also, of course, they almost bought Leeds beforehand, which is quite an interesting one. I didn't know that until I was doing the research on what these guys were up to. But they returned to buy 50% of the shares, as we all know, back in 2010. And between the two, they then increased it to 51% of the majority shareholders a few months later, and therefore became the official majority shareholders and owners of the club therein. Now, it's interesting to see that Slavia Prague want us to be relegated, so Souček returns. Very, very interesting on that. Guys, let me know your thoughts on this, because at the end of the day, we all know it's a loan to buy, but at the same point, you know, it's awful to say that they want us to get relegated so they get their best man back. You know, there are reports coming out that Slava Prague fought heavily for us not to get him, but they buckled because of the money we provided. So hopefully that we, you know, I personally said that I still think we're going to get relegated myself, but if we stay up, I'd love that to happen, just to piss Slavia Prague off. Now, there's a few more comments popping into the live chat, so let's have a look to see what everyone's talking about. Where are we? Jamie still says Sterling out. Yep, we've already discussed that earlier in the video, mate. Then says I might have to slam my head against the wall so I can feel like watching. Agreed. No one noticed the FN t-shirt. No, nobody's mentioned the new guys. The new t-shirt. Well, it's relatively new. If you like it, then by all means, click the Spreadshirt shop link in the description below. Get yourself a copy. Ryan Day, hello. If you had new owners, Pellegrini would still be there. Very possibly. I would agree with that, Ryan. How Ryan? Well, because Jamie, basically, at the end of the day, that if we had better owners, that he would have been backed better. Quite frankly, I think that's where he's going with it. I personally, Leonard Star says, personally, I think the Sullivan and Jane money problems have money problems. Yeah, I thought you were saying that. Neil, welcome. Good morning. 6:40 a.m. over there. Good to see you, mate. JP, there is an imposter of your? There isn't. I know there is, mate. I've been reporting them on every other ones, and his account's been reported as well. If Souček is that good, we won't go down. Agreed. There he is. If we stay up, I will present the show topless. You won't, mate, because you are about to be banned again. So you are blocked, and your account has been blocked, mate. So nice try. Get a life, mate. Not try. I take it as a compliment that he's pretending to be me. But those that know me, and they know it's not me. So yeah, it's ridiculous. I meant the t-shirt. They got the lad banned. Yeah. No, agreed. But that's the thing. Jamie says you're true. David Ward, Graham Potter flew into Prague the week. Potter flew to Prague the week West Ham United signed him. He did. Agreed. Jaz says, John, was that your imposter on the West Ham fan TV earlier? More than likely. West Ham. I have banned him, guys. Thanks for popping in, guys. I've reported his account as well. So anybody else that sees him, you know that's not me. Roy Chatwell says, hi John, how are you? I'm good, mate. Thanks for popping in. Some people have nothing better to do. Embarrassing. It is, Jamie. Agreed. But thank you. I'm guessing this is Nicky. Thank you very much for pointing this out, mate. I've banned him straight. I've banned him from. I tried to report his account, guys. If you see him, go onto his account, report him as an imposter. But yeah, it's stupid. That's a fake account too, JP. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying, is the fact that he's been popping up over the last week. So if anybody sees him, report his account straight away, because the more he gets reported, the more chances you'll probably try and do something else at the end of the day. But guys, everybody that knows me knows how I type, and he doesn't type in my way, so that's not me. Blah blah blah. Okay, so turning back to West Ham news now. Pellegrini came out a few days ago and said that Roberto was one of the reasons why he got sacked. He said he had responsibility in several goals. It's not just that, in my opinion. It really just isn't that, in my opinion. Pellegrini was too stubborn. Is Moyes possibly going to start becoming again? It was embarrassing. Anyway, there's a lot more other stuff, and to be honest with you guys, I'm going to save it for the rest of the new videos that are coming up. Now but as I say, one great bit news of information that came out earlier today is we finally have a 25-man squad with new boys Bowen and Souček being added there alongside Xande Silva as well. So he's officially a West Ham player for this season. Well, first team player for this season. I think it's brilliant. I really think it is. And it's also announced earlier today. It's great to see that former West Ham captain Kevin the Chicken Celebration Nolan is now with David Moyes' backroom staff, with former Brighton, Fulham, and England backroom coach Paul Nevin until the end of the season. From what I'm understanding, now that's very, very interesting that they're on there for the end of the season. That worries me. That kind of worries me that they're not there for Moyes. They're there to boister us up. So that concerns me. But for those that don't know about Paul Nevin, I mean, Gonzo did a very, very good video about it quickly earlier today. Nevin also worked for the Premier League between the 2014 and 16, and also was in New Zealand Knights FC, the Aspire Academy in Qatar, and also was coach at Norwich City as well. So he's had a good pedigree. So it's which is the reason why David Moyes says he was outstanding. Hopefully these 2 appointments, especially bringing Nolan back in to the coaching side, that will really give. I really think that will give us some identity for the next 12, 13 games. I really think it will. It's an absolutely inspired appointment by the board in that regards. But a little bit disappointed, if I'm honest. A little bit disappointed that Joe Cole wasn't on the coaching staff. But you can't have everything. Now, when it comes to playing Man City at the Etihad on Sunday, we are facing the second highest goal scorer in the Premier League so far in Sergio Aguero, with 16 goals and 3 assists in all competitions. Injured Yarmolenko could be sold in the summer. I'm reading out, as most of us, I'm sure we have over the last few days. But I'm very, very surprised that West Ham are going to be selling a David Sullivan signing so quickly. I mean, he's hardly played, to be fair, due to his thigh injury over the last couple of seasons. So I can understand why they want to sell him, and quite rightly so, because he is still injured at the moment. X has confirmed that Anderson's going to be back for this game this weekend. So that's some good news amongst a lot of the horrible news that's been going around over the last week or so. But I'm not exactly enthusiastic about having him return. But it is what it is. At least we'll have some strike in there. So guys, see what else you guys are talking about. No idea what he's saying in there. Luke's looking. I'm going to fathom what language it is. Ian Graver, isn't it amazing that it takes the threat of the process for them to act? Agreed, Ian, and welcome, mate. Good to see you. Contact Light says drop Allaire and Antonio up front. What do you think? Bowen and Anderson supporting. Well, we'll come on to the starting 11 in just a minute. Where are we? Ian says if we go down, we couldn't loan players out for a season, then sell if we don't get up. Agreed, mate. Joe was offered, he didn't want it. Understandable, because he probably knows he's not happy with things at the minute. David Trett says, evening, John. 5 months still Barnsley. Hello, Dave. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Contact Light says, do you think LA should play behind Antonio as flicking on and linking up? Again, as I said, we'll come on to that. Already said that. You said that twice. Harry, good to see you, mate. Hope you're all right. And Anderson back for Southampton. I've literally just said it, so I don't know. I know there's a bit of a delay, guys, but keep up. Right. Okay. So last things last. Let's talk about the starting 11. All right. So here's my one. A little bit controversial, you could argue, but I've gone for quite a few changes because I think we need it, to be honest with you. Fabianski remaining in goal. I've put in Ngakia at right back again because I think he really, really deserves it. I really think he deserves it. Keeping Ogbonna. I've dropped Diop, and I think that Akinola, the under-23 defender, should start. I've seen him play a few times, and I honestly do think this is his time to step up. It's a free game, as we've all been saying. It's a free game. We're not going to get anything decent out of this. I would continue. So I think just give him a chance, see how he gets on. Creswell at left back for me still. Declan Rice is the holding midfielder. Snodgrass out on the right. I mean, I know he comes under a lot of criticism, but he works his bloody ass off and has done over the last few games. And, getting 2 goals and 1 assist out of the Southampton game. You can't drop him as far as I'm concerned. I've continued with Souček in the midfield. With Fornals out on the left because I just don't think Lanzini is good enough for it. I really, really don't. I've brought in Zande Silva as the attacking midfielder, stroke second striker behind Antonio. So, guys, let me know your starting 11s and who you would pick. Okay, so let's have a look. Jamie says, my comments are coming through late. Apologies. It's fine, Jamie. Not a problem. It's a lot of weird things. And Ian's saying, don't you think we are a bit too overloaded with right wingers? We are, Ian. Yes, I agree. But at the same point, though we've brought in versatility players. Souček can play centre back, defensive midfield, and midfield. But Jared Bowen can play right wing field. He can play right wing, left wing, attacking midfielder as well. Stroke second striker, even though his natural position is right wing. Snodgrass can play on either wing. Anderson is better on the right wing than he is on the left, in my opinion. Lanzini is an attacking midfielder. Fornals technically is an attacking midfielder as well. Let's have a look to see. Contact says, agree with dropping Diop. I would like Rice to sit in there with Souček and Fornals in the middle. Haven't seen enough of Akinola to make a judgment. Fair enough. Yeah, I agree with your thinking in there. I know I might come under a bit of heat for not starting Bowen, but as I said, I haven't seen. As I said before, I have no clue about the guy. I know his information and when he played with Hull during the 2016-17 season when Hull got relegated, but I haven't seen enough of him over the last 3 or 4 years just to make a judgment. And Ian, welcome, mate. Glad to have you on board, son. I hope you're doing well. So, guys, as I said, let me know your starting 11. But as I say, guys, if you are free at 4:25 and watching the game live on Sky Sports, which is obviously going to doom us anyway, but please do jump on. If you want to talk to other people, then by all means, please do jump on the live stream, and we will talk about the game as it happens. Now, as you guys know, I don't have Sky, but I have a very, very reliable streaming service, so I will be using that. So there may be a little bit of a delay difference. But Ian says, Ian, you mentioned Akinola. How about Cardoso? Totally agree with it. Ngaki on that, though. Yeah, Cardoso, I would take, mate, 100%. If the only reason I think, if I remember correctly, Cardoso was right-footed, so that's why I left Ogbonna in because rather than having Cardoso, because I don't want too many changes in there because we shouldn't have too many changes. But this is for me personally. This is a game where everybody has to step up. It really, really has to step up. We're not going to get a result. We all know that. We're not going to beat them 1-0 or 2-0 or 3-1, whatever. You know, there's a very, very good chance we're going to get overturned by Man City, and rightly so, because we're shit at the minute and have been for months. And I'm glad everybody seems to have enjoyed my rants that I had with Nikki on West Ham Fan TV, and also my rant with Gio that I had on Hammers Chat as well after the game. But yeah, you know, as I said, guys, it's just we are in a very, very bad state. And Sunday's game, for me personally, we should be going out there, giving our all, showing some fight, showing the fact that these players want to be there. I know Nolan will be, you know, he's only been brought on officially today. He might have been at the training ground yesterday with them, but he's only been brought on officially today. So, but at the same point, you know, he's got three and a bit days to put them through their paces and drum some attitude into them. And I want that. I mean, okay, you know, he was what, in his early to mid 30s when he played with us, gave his all. Same as Snodgrass, gives his all the whole time, and that's what he's going to be demanding from the players. I guarantee it. So it'd be very interesting to have it to see what happens. So let's just have a check, because nobody's putting in their starting 11 yet. But guys, come on, put your starting 11. I want to talk to you before we end this stream, because I just want to see what you're thinking, what your starting 11 is. I mean, a few people are saying quite funny. A few things are getting a bit tasty now. Where are we? So Harry says, "What is the streaming thing?" I will message it to you, mate, because I'm not going to tell people on here for obvious reasons. Ian says, "Hammers Pulse, apologies if this was Ian. If this was what, mate? I think you might your phone might have died there, son." The station website, even I say, Harry, I'll give you the details on that. Yeah, what's going on with Cardoso? He was bought with the first team in mind, and we've never seen him. Reason being is because he was there in this. He was the yes, agreed, but that was the long-term project for him. He was brought in. He was in the under 23s and has been playing here and there, from what I understand. Dixie Normus says, "Take your top off." Not going to happen. Ian says, "Apologies as mentioned before, but should Rice go back into the defence as it is his natural position?" I agree, mate. I agree, but Rice won't be happy with that with the World Cup coming up, because at the end of the day, he's trying to cement himself in defensive midfield for England, and that's the reason why he's been playing there constantly. Dixie says, "You make me wet, JP." Nice to know, Dixie. Thanks very much. always a pleasure. My starting 11. I'm not putting that up, I'm afraid, darling. No, that's not going to happen. John, that's the best offer I've had all year, all decade, in fact. But guys, seriously, thank you very much for your time. If you're new around here and you like what I'm doing, then by all means, please do hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you get to know when new content is going up. As I said, if you want to have a live chat with me on Sunday, then by all means, please do so at 4:25. We will talk about the live. We'll talk about the team sheet before the kickoff, and we will talk about it game as and when it happens. Ian says his starting 11 is Fabianski, Nagakia, Balbuena, Ogbonna, Creswell. Yep, Rice, I'm guessing, is the holding midfielder. Souček, Snods, and Antonio, with Bowen and Allaire up front. Not a bad idea, Ian, mate. I like that. Idea. As I say, I see the thinking behind it. Antonio out on the left, I'm guessing. When I'd put Snods on the left and Antonio out on the right there, to be honest with you, mate. But yeah, no, I like it. I like that a lot. Right, so Contact Light says Fabianski in goal, and Ngakia, Rice, Ogbonna, Creswell. Yeah, Souček for nows. Yeah, Anderson, Antonio, and Bowen. Not a bad shout, mate. Not a bad shout. I'd like to see that. I mean, at the end of the day, as I said, this is a free game, and it's the way it is. The way it's going to be, and I would really, honestly, would like to see that. Would really like to see it. Yeah, it'd be interesting. And we'll talk about that again. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for the rest of your time. Dixie, if you want to contact me, you know where I am on social media. Links in the description. But yeah, no, but also, in all seriousness, guys, thank you very much for your time. For those watching the replay, apologies for loading the video with the wrong intro video. That's my fault. I was rushing around a bit too much tonight, hence why I'm a bit out of sorts. But yeah, I share the content with anybody that you feel may want to watch this, but this debacle. But there's also, put your comments in the comment section below, guys, as I said, for those that are watching the replay. And also please like this video if you feel I deserve it. Taking Ian's last one. See a few clubs looking at Haksabanovic. Preferred to keep him to see what he can do. Agreed, mate. He was absolutely brilliant in the England game when we played him a few weeks back, a couple of months ago. I really enjoyed his work there, so I'd take it. Cheers, JP. Have a good evening. Thanks, mate. But yeah, guys, thanks very much for your time. And I will hopefully see you on Sunday at 4:25. All the best. Enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend, and I will see you Sunday.